everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this a shirt here. Now it's super simple. It's highly customizable. It's, you can make it pretty much, you can make it as long as you want, as short as you want. Long sleeves, short sleeves, no sleeves. It's very easy. So what it is, it's basically two long panels right here. Like here's one big long one. It wraps, folds in half, and then it's sewn up the side here, and then there's another long panel here, folded in half, sewn up the side, and then the back is sewn up as well, which crocheted up. And then the sleeves, and then you can add, I just went around mine with single crochet here. You do yours however you like. Kind of clean up the bottom with a single crochet. And for the sleeves, you can leave sleeves off, you could put sleeves on. I just did a few rows of double crochet, which I mentioned. You can do it however you like. It's just really super easy. You will need to know though a little bit about how to measure your your body pretty much, but it's very forgiving. It's meant to be kind of just a baggy wear over a shirt type of shirt, you know what I mean? So it's very forgiving. And I can give you the size. So you see me wearing it. I wear a size small, and I'm 5'3". If that gives you any indication there of what mine looks like. And then I'll give you the measurements will be in the description box of this one. And you can make yours. I don't have like the sizes for everybody, but you make yours as big as you like. Like I said, I'll tell you the length and the width of the panels here of mine. Here, I'll just go ahead and do that right now. How about that? So without the single crochet, my panels measure about 14 inches wide, and then in length they're about 50. So cause it's folded in half, so see what I mean? So here's the bottom, and you follow it down. It's just folded over, and here's the other side of the panel. So that's how big mine are. They're about 50 inches long, two of them 15 inches long, and then the width there that I told you. And you can adjust yours accordingly. I'll show you this stitch. It's very simple. You're going to need to know how to do single crochet, double crochet, and triple crochet. So as you can see, very simple to do. All right, for my size there, or whatever you see there, that would probably fit small, medium, I would imagine, and large. But you can make it longer if you want by adjusting the size and the length of the panel. So for that particular piece there, I use this Shapkeys World Fine Art. It is a DK weight, so it's a lightweight number 3. There are 460 meters, so close to 500 yards per cake. And it probably took about 1,100 yards to make that one, that particular one right there. So it took 2, and then, no, it probably took 1,200 yards. 1,200 yards to make that particular one right there. It is a 50% superfine merino, 25 microfiber, and 25 acrylic. You do not have to use this yarn. Any yarn that you want to use will work, and any weight will work, because you're just going to adjust the chain in the multiple that I give you, and then make it as long as you want. That'll, that goes from wherever you want it. If you want it to go to the middle of the back of your leg, make your chain that long all the way across the front, and then back across your shoulder, and then back down to the same spot in the front, and that would be your starting chain. You make 2 panels the same, but for that particular yarn I did use the size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. All right, let's begin, shall we? Remember, we're making 2 panels, extremely long panels, and you make them as long as you want. I told you the size of mine. You see what I look like in the picture. All right, so that can be adjusted to your size. So the one you see, oh, you see me there in the picture, is a starting chain of 176 stitches. Now, if you want to change that starting chain, which many of you probably will, to make it longer or shorter or whatnot, it just needs to be any even number of stitches. Your starting chain needs to be any even number. Now I'm going to show you on a smaller scale, but remember I did make 2 panels with a starting chain of 176. And both panels are made the exact same way. So once you get your size calculated that you want for your panels and an even number of stitches, we'll go ahead and start row 1. So row 1, we're going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from our hook. We do not count the one that's on our hook. So 1 and 2, do a single, and then we're going to work across, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch until we get to the end of the row. So row 1 is just 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I will meet back up with you here in just 1 second. All right, so now we're going to start row 2. Rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the repeat rows. It is a 4-row repeat, but they're very, very easy to repeat. So we'll go ahead and start row 2, which starts the first row of the repeat. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch, doesn't count as anything. So we're going to start off and we're going to do a single crochet into that very first stitch. Just like that. And now we're going to start the repeat of row 2. We are going to do a triple crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a single crochet into the next. And that ends the repeat for row 2. So it's just a triple crochet, single crochet, repeat. So we triple crochet into the next stitch, and we single crochet into the next. Repeat, triple crochet into the next stitch, and single crochet into the next. Now we're just going to keep repeating this for row 2, the triple crochet, single crochet, repeat until we make it to the end of the row. And you should be able to end on the complete repeat, which means your last stitch should be a single crochet. And this is the back side of our work. If you turn our work around, this will be the front side, and if you look, it makes little tiny bobbles, kind of. This is the cobblestone stitch actually that we're doing right now, which is the triple crochet, single crochet, repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up until I make it to the end of row 2. All right, so I've made it to the end of row 2, and we're going to go ahead and start row 3. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. Again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So this is the front side where the little bobbles stick out. So we're going to go ahead and begin row 3 by putting a double crochet into the very first stitch, and then we're going to work a double crochet into every single stitch until you get to the end of the row. So you're working a double crochet in each of the single crochets from the previous row, and also on top of the triples. So right there is the triple. So row 3, very easy. One double crochet, I'm sorry, in every stitch until you make it to the end of the row. Putting a double crochet in every single and a double crochet into every triple. All right, I'll see you at the end of row 3. All right, so I've made it to the end of row 3. Now we're going to go ahead and start row 4. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch. What we are going to do now is double crochet right back into that very first stitch. And now we will start the repeat of row 4. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, so skip, and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet into the next. How easy is that? Chain 1, skip 1, and double into the next. And this is what we're going to do all the way to the end of row 4. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and double into the next. Again, chain 1, skip 1, double into the next. And this is what makes the little chain space rows that you see. All right, so I'm going to keep that up. I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, double into the next until I make it to the end of row 4. All right, when you make it to the end of row 4, you should have been able to complete repeat. So your last stitch, you should have had a double crochet there. That ends row 4, and we're going to go ahead and start row 5, which is the final repeat row. We are going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn our work. Remember, the front side is always where the bobbles are facing out. And this is just going to be a single crochet row. So we're going to put a single crochet right back into that very first stitch. And then we're going to work across, and we're going to put a single crochet into every chain space. So we just go right like through the space and into every double crochet all the way down until we make it to the end of the row. Remember, yours will be much longer than mine because I'm just doing the small sample here. But it's just one single, just right through every chain space and in the top of every double crochet until we make it to the end. Just like that. All right, I'll see you in a second. All right, when you make it to the end of row 5, that's it. That's the repeat rows. Rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for row 6, you would just repeat row 2, which is the cobblestone stitch row. That's where we chain 1 and turn. So I'm just repeating row 2. And we single crochet into the first stitch. And we triple crochet into the next. So you just want to keep, repeating rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 until you get the width of the panel that you want yours to be. And you want to end on a row 3 repeat, a double crochet row. Each panel needs to be done the exact same size, and it needs to end on a double crochet row. Now remember, mine were about this is like it's forgiving, so it's a very forgiving top. So you make yours a little bit wider if you want, a little bit smaller if you want. It's completely up to you. It's a pretty baggy overshirt, as you can see from the picture. So just continue doing rows 2, 3, 4, and 5, ending on a row 3, repeat, and make 2 panels exactly the same. Let me back up with you, and we will sew that bad boy together. Alright, so I got my 2 panels made here, and now I'm going to sew them together. I have the right sides facing, and they're folded in half. I'm just going to sew them with the right sides facing. You want to mark off with your sleeves. I'm going to say 7 would be about standard. If you like your sleeves to be a little bit looser, you could do 7.5 to 8. That really depends on what you like. So if you want to just kind of make sure you have the same number of little windows in between, that's what I do. Okay, I'm going to mark mine off after the 12th window, just doing a little guess here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. So I line it up. So I know I got. Now remember, you can try that on if you want to do bigger sleeves. That's fine. Oh, sleeve openings. This is just a stitch marker. I'm gonna do the same on both sides. And now I'm just gonna sew it up with man, you could sew it up any way you want. I'll probably just use yarn needle, piece of yarn. That's normally what I do. Alright, so remember I have the right side facing me. And yarn needle. And I'm just going to go through, I know it's kind of dark, but the back loop on this piece. And then the loop on the corresponding stitch on the other one. The loop closest to you on this one. I'm going to go through it. And that's kind of how I'm going to sew it up. Remember, we're not going to be flipping it inside out. Now, you don't even have to sew it up this way if you don't want to. You can sew it up any way you want. Whatever works best for you. Works for me. So, if you prefer to sew it on the wrong side, that's fine. I'm going to tie a little knot here with this tail. So, I don't lose what I'm doing. Alright. And that's where I'm going to work it up until I get to my sleeve. I'm going to go into the loop closest to me on this piece and the loop furthest away on this piece. I know it's dark and it's hard to see, but you can sew it up anyway. It doesn't really matter. Some people like to single crochet things together, slip stitch things together. I normally, most of the time, use a yarn needle and a piece of yarn. Sewed up to where my stitch marker is from my sleeve hole, and I'll try that on afterwards just to make sure that it's loose enough and not too tight. Make sure that it's tight enough, not too loose. And then you want to do both sides the same. Make sure you leave the same amount of spaces for the sleeve on the other piece that you did on this one. So your sleeves will be the same size. So I'm going to work on up. Just like this. Remember, I have the right side of my work facing me, so I won't be turning it wrong side, or I won't be turning it inside out this time. It's going to be doing it like this. There we go. There's my seam. Doesn't look bad to me. Alright, I'm going to work all the way up to my marker, and then I'll try it on and make sure my sleeve is okay. If it's too tight, I'll take a little bit out. If it's too loose, I'll add a little bit more. And then once you get that side figured out, you want to do the exact same thing on your other side over here. Just make sure you leave the same amount of little window here, or the same amount, yeah, little windows that you did on this side that you did over here. You know what I mean. Alright, so I'm going to get my pieces sewn up real quick. Alright, so I have both my panels sides sewn up, and now I'm going to do the back. I'm not going to sew it up though with a yarn needle. I'm going to use my hook. I'm going to do something different with it. So my armholes are made. They're the same size on both sides. I have the front side of my work facing me on both panels. All right, and we're gonna sew up at the back. We're gonna leave, so we leave the front here open. See, don't do anything up here, but we do have the right side of our back facing us, and this is what we're gonna do here. Going to use the yarn that you've been using, and I'm going to use the hook that I've been using. I'm going to go through the bottom. This is the bottom. All right, I'm going to work my way up to the top of the back to where we feel like it's comfortable, you know, for a neck opening. So I'm going to go into this first stitch here. I'm going to start my yarn like I normally would. I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go back into that very first stitch on this first panel, and I'm going to do a double crochet. Just like that. Now I'm going to jump over to the next panel over here, and into that very first stitch I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to do a double crochet. I'm going to yarn over and go into it in that first stitch there and double crochet like that. Let me zoom in a little closer, and now I'm going to chain 1. All right. So I am going to skip 1 double crochet on this panel and double crochet into the next. So skip and then double crochet. Then I'm going to come over here to the other panel over here. I'm going to skip 1 and double crochet into the next. And chain 1. And this is what we're going to do all the way up. So again, I'm going to skip 1 here, double into the next. Don't chain 1 here, but come over here to your next piece, skip 1 and double into the next. So skip, double, and then you chain 1 and repeat. Skip 1 on this panel, double crochet into the next. Don't chain 1 here. Come over here to your next panel over here, skip 1 and double into the next. So I'm skipping and doubling, and now I do my chain 1, and then we're going to repeat this most of the way up. So again, we're back here to this side. We're going to skip 1, double into the next, jump over here to the other panel, skip 1 and double into the next, and then I chain 1, and we're going to do this all the way up. Now if you don't want to do it this way, you don't have to do it this way. That is up to you. I just leave some chain spaces to kind of go along with the chain spaces that we had, but that's completely up to you. You don't have to do it this way. But I'm going to continue sewing it together like this. If you prefer to sew it together in another manner, that's fine. Until I get pretty close to the top here, to maybe where I have a couple inches left or so. I'm going to work my way up, and I'll let you know how much I leave. All right, I went all the way up till I had about 1 inch to 1.5 inches left. You try it on and decide what works for you. And then I ended with a double. My last double crochet was on this side, and then I'm going to tie off here and hide that tail real quick. So that's the back. Well, I'll hide that tail in a minute. Now what we can do is we can clean it up by going around the front here, from the bottom. We can go around the bottom if you want with single crochet, around here and around the neck and back around the bottom, around the sleeves with single crochet. You can make the sleeves bigger, longer by doing the same pattern. Only this time you want to have an odd number of stitches all the way around and make sure it's the same number on both sides, and then you would just repeat the same pattern as you did before. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I have the front side of my work facing me. I'm just going to go around it with single crochet. You can use any color that you want. I'm going to use this darker color. And I'm just going to start right down here in the very first stitch. Like that. And pull my yarn through. Chain one. I'm going to go back in that same stitch, put one single crochet, and I'm just going to work around my piece, putting one single crochet in every stitch just to clean up the edges. So I'm going to go all the way up the top to my neck area, and I'll go around that and back down the other side and around the bottom. When we get to the neck area and the bottom, we'll have to kind of evenly space our single crochets out as best as we can. So I'm going to continue this all the way up. I'll meet up with you here at the top of our little neck opening that we left. And what we're going to do is just kind of evenly space out some single crochets. And then we'll work our way back down the other side. Alright, I made it up here to my neck area. I'm just going to kind of hide this tail here as I go. So here are the two double crochets on the side. I'm just going to put two single crochets through that space like that, and then one single crochet through that chain space, and then two single crochets over here in this space like that. And then I'm going to continue around, going back into this single crochet here that this doubles in. And I'm going to hide that tail as I go. There we go. Now I'm working my way back down the other side of our piece. Now, when I get down here to the end of the other side, I'm going to continue along the bottom, but we're going to have to put some extra stitches in the corner so it lays flat. So I'm going to continue on this side, working one single crochet in every stitch, and I'll meet back up with you at the bottom of this panel, at the last stitch of this panel, before we start going around the bottom. And I'll show you what we're going to do there at that last stitch. Alright, so I've made it to the corner, And I'm going to be working around the bottom now. And you can see that you're not really going to be able to see where the stitches need to go along the bottom. You're just going to have to do your best to kind of evenly space out your stitches. But on this last corner stitch here, I'm going to work I'm going to work just, I'm going to work 3 single crochets. So I put 3 single crochets in that corner stitch. And now I think I'm just going to do my best to evenly space out single crochets along the bottom. So I got 3 in a corner, and yeah, I'm just gonna do my best to get these evenly spaced out. Probably not gonna look real good because it's done in a different color, but that's okay. I'm just gonna do my best, and I'm gonna work it all the way around the back, evenly spacing out single crochets until I make it all the way back around here to my starting point where we started in this corner, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. Alright, so I made it all the way around the bottom, and here I am at my starting point. Remember, we put 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, so we want to go ahead and put 2 more to make it a total of 3 to round that corner. Now if you want to go around again, you can, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. It would probably straighten out if it looks crooked to you or anything at the bottom, since we didn't have any. We had to kind of evenly space out our single crochets. It'll probably straighten that up. And what you do is just do 1 single crochet all the way around, and when you get to the 3 in the corner on that side and the corner on this side, you would put 3 into the middle stitch of those 3 and continue around with the 1 single crochet in every stitch. That's if you want to do that, to kind of straighten it out. If it looks a little wonky to you on the bottom, I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'll be okay. I'm just going to end mine with a slip stitch into my first single crochet, and you can tie that off and hide that tail if you want. It can be finished if you like. Clip off any tails that you have hanging around that you were trying to hide and whatnot. But I might do a little something along the sleeve, maybe. Let me see. I actually think I'm just going to do, I'm not going to continue the pattern. I think I'm just going to do a row or 2 of double crochet. So just grab a sleeve and kind of start in a corner and go into a stitch and draw up a loop and chain 1, go back into that same stitch and double crochet. Now I'm going to do 1 double crochet in every stitch around. I mean, it's not necessary that you have the same amount of stitches, but you want to try to keep it as close as possible if you can on both sleeves. I'm probably not even going to count mine. This is just for add a little bit of length to mine. You don't have to do this. Or like I said, you can continue with the pattern repeat. It's a pretty easy repeat. I'm going to go all the way around with a row of single crochet, and then I will, all the way around with a row of double crochet for my sleeve. 1 in every stitch. And then when I make it back here, I will just end with a slip stitch into my first double crochet and try it on. And if it looks okay to me, I'll tie it off. If not, I'll go around with another row of double crochet, and then I'll do the same thing on the other sleeve. So the sleeves it's really whatever you want to do. It's your, you know, it's your piece. You do it how you like. Everybody likes different sleeve lengths. Some people don't like no sleeves at all. Some people like long sleeves, 3/4 sleeves. So whatever you like. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Alright, to finish mine, I went around the sleeves. I did 3 rows of double crochet and then 1 row of single crochet around the sleeves. Again, you can do as much as you'd like. And then I decided just to go around the front like this, all the way around the neck, all the way back down, and all the way around the bottom again, back to the starting point, with another row of single crochet. So we had the initial first row, and I just added another, and that is it. So remember, this is just highly customizable, as all my tutorials are. You make the sleeves as long as short as you want, or you don't put no sleeves on it. You can go around this as many times as you like, or just don't go around it at all. You can add like ribbing or something to the bottom if you want. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Make it long if you want, make it shorter if you want. Remember, it's you, whatever you like. It's yours. So you do it how you like. You're wearing it, nobody else. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial, quick and easy. I hope you were able to follow along okay, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button, and I'll see you on my next video. All right, bye guys.